Before we talk about today's topic, I would like to take some time in this video to congratulate Max Verstappen on his second world title win last weekend out at the Japanese Grand Prix. It was in between a cluster of regulation issues, but we are really happy to see Max win his second title, as he really deserved it for showing up a phenomenal performance this season. Now to our topic. Daniel Ricciardo's future career prospect has been one of the biggest question marks of Formula One this season, as we witness one of the greatest talents in Formula One struggling to find a future in the sport. We have been in constant arguments about if he can still compete, who might need him, and who would actually want him. At the Japanese Grand Prix, Daniel gave his word on this situation, and we think we've managed to piece together the puzzle pieces he gave us, and we believe he is not joking this time around. Also, we do believe that he is up for a reserve driver role at Mercedes and Ferrari, but you will have to stick till the end of this episode to find out. Just in case you have been in a coma or by any chance have missed all about Formula One, let us fill you in with the details shortly. Daniel Ricciardo and McLaren are parting ways at the end of this season upon a mutual agreement to terminate his contract 1 year early. McLaren were very much interested on the 21-year-old young rookie, Oscar Piastri, that they had to make this decision of letting Daniel Ricciardo go as soon as possible because they felt that Piastri was a too good of an option to let go. It's been a privilege to be a part of the McLaren racing family for the last 2 seasons. Following several months of discussions with Zach and Andreas, we have decided to terminate my contract with the team early and agree to mutually part ways at the end of this season. I'll be announcing my own future plans in due course, but regardless of what this next chapter brings, I have no regrets and am proud of the effort and work I gave McLaren, especially the win in Monza last season. Now at the Japanese Grand Prix, Daniel Ricciardo said he won't be racing in Formula One next season, but was setting his sights on a return to the grid in 2024 after the latest spate of driver moves narrowed down the out-of-contract McLaren drivers' options. French manufacturer Alpine said it had signed AlphaTauri's Pierre Gasly on a multi-year deal to replace Aston Martin-bound Fernando Alonso in an all-French lineup with Esteban Ocon at the Renault-owned team from next season. Shortly after, AlphaTauri said it was replacing Gasly with Dutchman Nick de Vries, who impressed by taking points on his debut as a stand-in for Alexander Albon at Williams in last month's Italian Grand Prix. I knew they were talking for a while, and I knew though they were very interested in Pierre. Ricciardo said at the Japanese Grand Prix. His only options now to remain on the grid are with 8th-placed Haas or last-placed Williams. I think the reality is now I won't be on the grid in 2023. I think it's now just trying to set up for 24, added the 33-year-old, who has won 8 times in Formula One. Ricciardo, who twice finished third in the overall drivers' standings while racing for Red Bull, joined McLaren at the start of last season. He handed the former champions their first win since 2012 in a 1-2 with teammate Lando Norris at the 2021 Italian Grand Prix. But results have largely failed to meet expectations, with McLaren choosing to terminate their deal with him 1 year early to make way for fellow Australian and rising star, Oscar Piastri, who will make his F1 debut with the team next year. Ricciardo, who made his debut with now-defunct HRT at the 2011 British Grand Prix, has previously said he would not rule out a year out. He has been linked with a reserve driver role at Mercedes alongside regulars Lewis Hamilton and George Russell. It's kind of like just hitting pause for a little bit, as I see it, and, let's say, as far as my F1 career goes, the full intention is for 24, said Ricciardo, who ruled out racing in another category. As fun or cool as it sounds to compete in something else, the truth is mentally, I'm not there yet. I'm still so engaged in this, and I think a bit of time off out of a seat will probably do me good. So, by his comments, we can say that even with 2 seats still empty in the 2023 grid, Daniel might know something that we do not know from the outside, which might be the reason for him ruling out his chances to be on the 2023 F1 grid. Former F1 driver Paul di Resta told Sky Sports that he thought that a year out might be the best thing for Daniel as well. I hope it's a dip in from, but it would take a few things to fall in place for Daniel to remain in Formula One. He may have to take a year out. And we once heard him speaking to veteran Red Bull driver Sergio Perez about taking a year off the track and returning once more. But will he be 100% off track? That's a question that we should really answer. It's been rumored for some time that Daniel Ricciardo is up for all possible opportunities surrounding Formula One. But then also, staying active is good, that's why I kind of want to hear everything. Even if it's a reserve, I don't want to be too proud to say, I'm too good for that. I just want to hear everything and see what makes sense. It could be something that sets me up better for the future, and next year may be one of those years where I need a bit of patience. Now I know what you guys are thinking. There is nothing in what we have gone through about him taking a reserve driver role at Mercedes or Ferrari. We need to look a bit deeper for those points. The first piece of evidence we have is that he is open to a reserve driver option. When considering Mercedes, they lost their reserve driver Nick de Vries. Coming to Ferrari, their reserve drivers are Mick Schumacher and Antonio Giovinazzi. Mick Schumacher is at the cusp of losing his seat at Haas F1, and Ferrari team principal is not very much interested on the 23-year-old Schumacher. So he is out of options, and Ferrari do want to sneak in Antonio as the replacement to Mick at Haas. Good friend at other channels such as GP Culture even went through this fact. So, it is safe to say that even Ferrari are out of reserves for next year. This is the grand opening Daniel Ricciardo has, as he is able to get a seat at Mercedes or Ferrari. For the one who do not know, reserve driver is not just a role to arrive to one race weekend and just drive the car for 1 hour. The reserve driver will be hitting the simulator for hours and hours long and is very much involved in the car development process alongside the two main drivers of the team. Daniel Ricciardo is way more experienced for this role. Therefore, Mercedes and Ferrari will be on the mark to get Daniel on their side, which is the opening Daniel has to stay in Formula 1, thus getting some time off track to get himself on the top of his game. This creates the perfect chance for Daniel to find the proper seat he needs for the 2024 season. I still definitely have the ability to love a project, he said, but of course if there's a longer project, and this one where you're going to win tomorrow, of course I'm gonna go for the quick wins. They are things I will definitely give some thought to. I don't also want to be stubborn or short-sighted and be like, oh no, I'm not interested in that. I'll give everything its respected thought. You can't deny that the Ferrari and Mercedes are one of the biggest projects at the moment. Even though both have lost out to Red Bull this season, they'll want to come back hard next season. So he could join one of those teams, take the inspiration from Kimi or Fernando, stay away from the track a bit, and join the sport in 2024 with much more fresh energy. Where he might end up at 2024, it's an open topic to be anyone's guess for the short term. So what do you guys think? Have we first convinced that Daniel is up to the reserve driver task, or will he land in one of the seats available at Haas or Williams? If you have a better argument than us, let us know in the comments section below. Want to know why Max is faster than Sergio Perez with equal machinery? Then watch the video link shown on your screen now. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and I will catch you on the next episode.